Hey, everybody, welcome to Big Blend Radio. We're super excited to welcome back singer-songwriter Liz Lenten. We first met her back in spring of 2019 with her album Game of Faith, which also had a game, like cards and like it's cool. But she is back with her band as well. AUBURN is her band. But she is back because her new EP is out called Favorite Mistake. It is out ever since April 28th, 2023. And I encourage you to go to her website, find her on Spotify, uk, Liz Lenten and AUBURN, but go to Instagram, AUBURN Band UK, and also go to her website, auburn.org.uk. So welcome back, Liz. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Every time I think of you, I think about Prosecco. You know, it's how we first met, right? On
every time I drink Prosecco, I think of you.
Oh, well, gee, someone should open a Prosecco winery for us, just Prosecco. We'll just go there.
I think I overdid the Prosecco on in lockdown, and so I'm kind of on the orange squash at the moment.
Well, that's good. That's always good to get to the healthy part, right? I know. I think that's the thing, the lockdown, like so many of us did things we weren't supposed to.
Oh, yes. It was not the most productive and certainly not the healthiest time of my life.
Well, it's still not the healthiest thing for a lot of us. You know, it's like for us, we were go, 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 keep going on the road. And, now it's like, you weren't really taking care of your body while you just, ate gummy bears and M&Ms on the road while you were driving. That's not necessarily the healthiest thing.
I know, but I think everybody got in that, oh, well, I need some vices, I need some treats. And then it was sort of, you can only buy essentials. Everyone was like, right, M&Ms are definitely essentials, or Maltesers, or whatever your favorite
Oh, my gosh. But yes, speaking of M&Ms, I had some friends. My best friend from high school, and when we were in South Africa together, she lives in England now, and she came to the States. So I got to see her a few months this past summer, and she brought all kinds of treats that we've been missing for years. She brought Nancy like a bag of crunchy bars, and I got Marmite, and then we've got some friends in Maryland. They went to Scotland. They came back. We've been, and so I am loaded with Marmite, so I'm the most happiest person on the planet, and people think I'm weird. You don't like it?
Oh, no.
Well, it doesn't really go with Prosecco. I'm just going to say
no, it doesn't go well with Prosecco. That's true.
No. But I'm really excited about your EP, My Favorite Mistake. And everyone, I want to just let you know that if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, you got to hear that Favorite Mistake, the first track to the EP and the title track. And we'll close with Sweet Dreams, which features Sanka. And those of you on Spotify, you're going to hear it too. But the rest of, everyone just go get the EP. That's the best thing. Or go to Spotify and you can listen there too. But I'm very excited. And Favorite Mistake, this EP seems very intimate. It like takes you through intimate thoughts. And I think we've all kind of had those experiences, and you need to let those experiences out at some time. And sometimes it's like, come on, man, did you have to be like that? But it's a very album.
A very
intimate, like very personal.
As I was writing, I was very insular. I was also very emotional. There's all sorts of stuff going on. And I was realizing that that's how I process what's going on in my head. I'd started having therapy, just counseling, just to kind of get my head straight post-lockdown for the first time, actually, because I have a lot of close family and friends. I've always talked out my issues. But I went to counseling for a specific thing that was bugging me. And I realized that I processed everything through writing songs, not necessarily the truth, the whole truth. It's, it's not that they're true autobiographical stories, but I just realized that I processed my feelings and my emotions through writing. And so these are, I suppose, because I was kind of going through that process at the moment, and spent a lot more thought about what I actually was saying and whether I really dared say it or wanted to say it, So, and I was working with mentors, songwriting mentors, which was really helpful to kind of keep me down to earth, stop me using a metaphor in every single line. But I realize I can barely speak without using a metaphor.
Well, yeah, but I think it's something. Well, songwriting is such a creative process, and it takes you to fantasy land, even if the subject is truth, right? You can
Yeah,
be right. You
yeah,
still go into this place because you're not in that space then, but you're feeling those connections. And when you listen to, Favorite Mistake, when I'm listening to it, you can connect, and that's what I was
he's in
saying.
there.
And if you don't have that emotion to it, but you're really real. I mean, it's very, as I say, you can immediately connect
Thank
with the
you.
songs on there. And I think that to me is very important, as is dynamics. Dynamics, that's something that, the last time you were on the show, we were playing your music. Game of Faith is the same thing. You're very, very tuned in regarding dynamics. Did
Thank
any of that change for you working with these different songwriting mentors? Because I think that's something you've always had, is
Well,
these amazing
interestingly,
dynamics.
no. At first, I sort of started and I did the initial training that gives you, various, not formulas such, but, plans, little things to follow, checklists, that kind of stuff. And I got a bit kind of confused at that point and, felt like I was kind of writing nursery rhymes a bit in my head. And then I was chatting to one of the mentors, Jeff Franzel, actually, is great composer, lovely, lovely guy, brilliant mentor as well, and amazing piano player. He does these occasional hour-long onlines. You've got to check it out.
Oh,
Does
cool,
everything from Mozart to blues, and he's
cool.
mind-blowing. So, and he would sort of, I'd take in my ideas or my songs, and he would just sort of guide me through, the process of being able to be truthful, really, and just help me say, get rid of all these tools. He said, just do what you think. And then when you're pretty much there, then you can go in the toolbox, see if anything needs tidying up. And that really helped me because everybody writes differently. And I just kind of struggled with this kind of idea of writing to a method.
Right,
But
because you're
yeah,
you're very real. So it's kind of like you're downloading this information, right?
yeah,
It's same as a photographer. It's like, if they talk about this in writing books too, and articles, and we write articles, do photography, film, all that stuff. And it's really hard when you have an idea to suddenly someone says, no, you need to start editing now. And I'm like, you don't
yeah,
do that. It's like,
exactly.
take the photo. And
Exactly.
I've learned, take the photo when you've got that opportunity, even if the lighting sucks. If it's the only chance you
Yeah.
have, you better take it, because there is such a thing as Photoshop. There are all these other tools that can fix things, but do what you have in your heart and soul then, because that editing thing sucks, man.
Yeah, that's
I
beautifully
hate it.
put. That's beautifully put. That's exactly how it felt. And that's exactly what happened. So now I take my shitty shot and, and I just, with my banging old guitar, scratching away, and I'm 2 o'clock in the morning groaning into my phone. And then, a few weeks later, hey, I got a track. And then I get together with Thomm in Nashville once I've got it, because it was, these songs evolved. They started as songwriting assignments. So I was just to write a song. Either, I think one of them was from a title. I think one of them was, I can't remember, but whatever. We were given a kind of brief. We had to write one song all about love without using the words love, which was quite an interesting one. I'm sure there's one in there. But so they started. Then the next part of the process was like, now produce your track. I'm like, ugh, I hate computers. I mean, they're a necessary evil. So I had to learn how to use Logic, and I started recording.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it was a learning curve. But at the time it was quite good because I was on crutches. So sitting in front of a computer was working well for me. So I started recording, and then again, working with the other mentors, bit of up a bit, down a bit. And then I started inviting other people to kind of play on the tracks, and now stuff was being sent all over the place to the Australian drummer, and to somebody in London, and somebody else in Cardiff, and I can't remember who everybody was. Oh, and then a guy that I met at the gym who just happens to be a virtuoso piano player and the sweetest kid you could ever meet. He popped over to do some piano, and it was just, and then I sort of got it to the vibe that I wanted, finished all the vocals, and then sent it all off to Thomm, my producer in Nashville, and said, can you please do the guitars again, because I can play, but you know, Tom is a virtuoso guitarist, I'm not. So please do the guitars and mix it. And that's what happened. And that's
Awesome.
how it kind of came together with this weird process.
But it's cool, you know, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, when you have downtime, you know, I know you went through some surgery and then at the same time, COVID stuff, you know, all of the lockdown and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's better to do something, take the constructive time to improve. And honestly, I don't think there's any career where you don't go and expand your knowledge. And there are
Absolutely.
tools out there now. And I think it's important. I don't care, you know, what you do. If you don't go and learn a little bit more, were you really glad that you did it?
Oh my God, I have learned so much. You know, I've been teaching music and
Right.
composition and songwriting, you know, for the last 20 odd years and before. And although I've always done CPD, I've always gone to courses and seminars and events and workshops just because I love them with a lot of my peers in the education, artists in education. I do a lot of work with, as you know, in community work. And so for me, it was, you know, the obvious kind of thing to do, really.
Is to go, yeah, take that time and be
Yeah,
constructive with it. Well, I love
yeah.
the EP. I mean, we
Thank
love
you.
your music, so it's like,
Thank
yay.
you.
I was like, Liz is back. It's been a while. Good. You go,
I
go.
know.
And you have more coming out. So this is just like the start of it. It's like the snippet
Yeah,
of
this
it,
is the
right?
taster. This is the starter. So I have 4 more tracks that I'm working on now that were all written around that time as well. I wrote most of the songs together. So I'm sort of working on the next 4, and that'll come out in another digital EP at the end of the summer. And then I'm going to be writing between now and then 3 or 4 more songs, depending on how much we can actually fit on a physical vinyl, because it's going to come out on vinyl
That
at
is
the end of the year
exciting.
with everything. So yeah, I'm quite
I
excited.
I love that vinyl is, you know, making this great comeback, and it's been bit by bit, but it's so I know Jack White is doing so much to kick other people to do it. Like, come on, even major labels. He's like, you're the ones with the money. You need to invest. And if you could do that, it would cut the costs down for so many people if you would actually do it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
be as polite as I can about it, but it's true, right? It's like
No,
there's
it's totally
something
true. And it's so expensive to do. That's why I'm going to have to build up,
yeah.
you know, orders really throughout the year to be able to afford to press them, to be honest, at the end of the year. But I really want to do it.
Now that's exciting. And so you're working with the same band. Auburn is the same band. Thomm in Nashville. That's
Yeah,
you worked
Tom
with
in
before.
Nashville. Yeah, absolutely. So it's the same core people, but with a few recent additions and some, I'm not going to say old, but long-standing
Yeah.
musicians. I'll
And
get in
now Sanka,
trouble.
tell us about that because that was a cool combination.
Yeah,
The two of
Sanka
you
is so
that worked
cool.
out really good.
So this is so strange. So Sanka is actually my niece's best friend. They've known each other since school, and they
Wow.
all hang out, and they live in Nottingham, which is about an hour and a half from me. And it's you know, it's really urban. I'm in rural, absolute buttfuck nowhere, but they're right in the middle of urban, and it's got a really cool music scene. And he's a rapper. He's got his own project that he does, and it's all very kind of streety and urban. But I've known him since, you know, the last 10
Yeah.
years or so. And he's just really cool. And we decided, I think they were over here, and he just started rapping on some of the stuff that I was doing, just kind of in the room. And so I was like, right, I'm getting a mic out.
Let's do it.
And he did. So now we're going to be doing more material together, and hopefully he's going to be doing some of the gigs with us as well.
That's awesome because I think there is a misunderstanding of rap music for a lot of people and I think that you've done a really good way of bridging that where both parties can enjoy it. Singer-songwriter fans and then rap fans can go, oh, this is a different sound, something new, and it bridges. And I think that's important in music that we don't go, oh, I don't listen to this.
Well, it's true, actually, because when I first sent it to Tom to work on, and he was like, do you know, Liz, he said, this is so cool, this kind of
It
rootsy
is cool.
Because I'm like, do your thing, don't feel, and he said, this kind of rootsy with R&B mix. He said, I've never worked on anything like this. He loved it.
It's one of my favorites, really, because I think that it, like he said, it is rootsy, but it's got the rap, and it's like you guys are playing off of each other very well. I'd love to see that live. You know what I mean?
We're going to be definitely doing that live.
Oh my gosh. So,
I can't wait.
wow. So things open. So tell us about this. You're going to be doing some, touring in the summer. What?
Yeah, at the moment, we're just booking in a couple of festivals, and we're hopefully going to be doing a little mini tour again for the next release. So that will be sort of September, October. But we're just going to do a few festivals in the summer as kind of warm up, really, and get together gigs. Because with my Auburn UK, I toured with Gus and Pat and Eden, my touring gang here. We toured in the November last year, so we've not had a chance to get together with them yet with the new material. So that's going to be fun.
That's exciting to do new, get new things out there. But it's so interesting from the pandemic. From a lot of the musicians I know, they're like, okay, yeah, we did the live stream, we did this. But really, as a band, to go back out and perform, it took like some dusting off, like just even the communication on stage. Kind of like, when I look at you, that means you need to play this note now. Like, don't be late. I'm looking at you. Do you remember that look that I used to give you years ago?
Honestly, we called it, the last tour, we called it the Auburn All Inclusive, because we just felt like we were on holiday. It was just, out there at last, on the road all together. We were like the Waltons, honestly. It was, can I have Elizabeth? It was just, I don't think there was one bad word on the road on that last tour, because everyone was just so grateful to be doing it again.
See, but that's the thing. And for the audience, I remember we were, it was the beginning of the pandemic, after the crazy part of the lockdown, right? When you don't set foot out of your house, you're going to die. It's just, when you think it was like so sci-fi, right? It really was like, it was. And here we all, but Nancy always says, the aliens come, then maybe people will start to be nice to each other, because we have to be united. And here it was, COVID, and we looked at each other and went, okay, well, maybe this will be a positive. Nah.
No, not for long.
But not for long. It was nice. No, because people were fighting each other in the grocery stores for toilet paper. Like, it's my square, I'm like, don't tear it. Isn't it crazy how we get, like, we go from being nice to absolute bonkers, and then it's, and I don't know, but anyway, we were in the lockdown, and we travel full time, which is, the pandemic, we're like, holy crap, now what? And we were in Grand Junction, Colorado. It was May 2020, and I have a beautiful park there, Colorado National Monument. But anyway, we're downtown. They have like something like 300 pieces of public art in this small historic downtown. And I'm trying to photograph it, get it all done. And there's not that many people, so it's kind of like your photos either look like there's no one, it's like a ghost town, or, and all of a sudden we heard this music, and there's this band playing, and like, you couldn't get near them, but they were like in this, it was almost like they were playing in a window, but there was no window. And so this restaurant had it, and people were coming out, and Colorado's pretty open, like, do your own thing. And I swear to God, all of us were just like, there's live music. There's live music. There's beer over there. There's live music, but there's live music. And it was just like all of us. And then it's like, don't get too close. Don't do, you know what I mean? Because you want to rush them. You don't even know who the band is, but they've got a beat. She's got a good voice. And you just want to rush the stage. It's like you suddenly got totally punk on them, and yet don't go near anybody. So it was a really weird, excited, but like restricted feeling at the same time.
I know, it was mad, because we were still selling masks on the tour. So it was not November, just one before. So we were still selling masks, and it was all kind of everyone handing things over at a distance. But still all sweating out in the same club. I mean, it was a strange tour, but for us, just wonderful to be back in the room together. And just to be playing an instrument with someone else.
Yeah, right. I know, because that's the other thing, is just being alone.
But we did we did a lot through the lockdown. When I started the course, I met these two guys literally on the course. We were just put in a kind of breakout room together on a kind of boot camp. And basically we've been writing together ever since. And one of them is in Brazil, and he does a lot of
Nice.
music, and he's in a heavy metal band, and he's an incredible musician. And the other one is in Zurich, but he's from South
Oh,
Africa,
wow.
and he does kind of, he's big into the production, big production film score stuff. So we've kind of got together
Wow.
and we've written 8 songs now over Zoom, which is something pre-lockdown would never have even crossed my mind to even attempt.
It's these global things, it is this global connection that I think is so, it's like you want the in-person, right? But the global things that have happened. I know musicians who said, actually, I made more money because I was just doing my thing on my own on Zoom, and getting people on Facebook Lives. I actually made more money. I didn't have to travel, and some people were
Yeah.
happy about it, but majority not. I'd say 90% were like, I want back out. And, because you get your albums out, but I always say go and really try to support the musicians directly. Like, so when in regards to like your EP down the road, when you get the vinyl, like you're going to want that support big time.
Yeah.
Spotify really doesn't pay musicians a nice paycheck or anything for anything. So in regards to getting the EP, are you going to have like CDs out, or can people do it like a download from you that
it's digital download, so they can either stream it live on Spotify or through any of the digital platforms. They can download it for what I just set it at whatever was the cheapest download price, just so people can keep it, or they can stream it. I just want to get it out there and try and get more of a following for the music, and hopefully when sort of EP2 comes out, people will buy in, and hopefully by then everyone will have a turntable and go, do you know what, this could sound quite cool, and then there'll be extra tracks. So that's my plan. They're just going to hear from me little and often through the year.
Yeah, Liz Lenten is knocking on your door, your
Just
sound door.
gently. I'm trying not
tugging
to
on your
drive you mad.
earlobes.
I'm just not like you're gonna forget.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I'm excited. I'm so glad that you're okay and
Thank you.
got through the pandemic, but the most importantly, having new music and good health. Those are those important things in life, health
Yeah, well,
first,
I
obviously,
think,
but for us, we're happy about the music too. It's
yeah.
just, that's
Well, it was
fantastic.
interesting because when I didn't have good health for a little while, I had the music. So
See,
it kind of paid off, didn't it? But yeah, I'm
yeah.
so pleased. I'm so pleased you like it, because it's so weird when you've been, particularly when you've been working in a bubble and then you suddenly put it out to the world. It's like,
No,
whereas,
yeah, isn't that what? But then you'll be able to play new music too, going out on the road. And are you getting back into? I know you did a lot of community work in regards to younger youth musicians. Are you going to
yeah,
go
I'm
back to
still
that?
working on that. I don't know. You probably missed it. I'm going to flex now. So if anybody doesn't like flexing, look away now. But I got a medal from the Queen in her last New Year's honours. I've got a British Empire medal, which I can now use after my name, for music services in Lincolnshire. So that involves all the community music work that I've done there,
That's
which was
amazing.
absolutely mind-blowing. Actually, I thought it was a wind-up at first and didn't even reply.
That's amazing. Oh, you didn't even reply?
I didn't. I just thought somebody winded me up. I'm not even going there. So it's and then they kind of called me. I was like, yeah, wow, thank you. And so I took my sister to Buckingham Palace. That was interesting and very much fun. But I was still on crutches, so that was quite funny.
Well, you didn't have to curtsy then.
No, I didn't have to do any curtsying, just as well.
See, that's the way to do it. Go in with crutches, because then you've got an excuse for not doing things at the right time.
Yeah, seriously, I was in a fluorescent pink lace trouser suit. You couldn't miss me. My blinking crutch that I was dragging around behind me, trying to not look. So that was interesting. So I still have my youth choir, because to me that's what it's all about. These are the people. So I still have my youth choir. Still working on a drumming project with the African drummer that I've worked with for a long time, Americana project. And I've still got a music club. I've just reapplied for funding for the next 2 years, but we've just had a fantastic year. we did, oh God, what instrument did we do this year? It was noisy. I think it might have been ocarinas, but never again. It's going to be a quiet instrument next year, but we pick a different instrument each year. And I still do the odd, you know, bits and pieces, workshop and training and lessons as I can fit them in. But this was on a kind of mission now to focus on music. Like I say, having had that time where it just all felt like it had disappeared.
Yeah, right.
You
To
know,
turn it around. Yeah, I was going to
yeah.
say, did you get to meet the Queen?
I didn't meet the Queen. No, she wasn't very well. I did meet William
Oh,
and Kate, who
okay.
well, Kate, I didn't really meet them, but we saw William and Kate there, and because it was at a garden party. But no, she wasn't very well.
Oh, I know it's so
Just
wild, like,
before she
but
died. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, she was a monarch for sure. It's,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I probably shouldn't. I mean, I'm not a huge royalist in the kind of
Mhm.
modern sense, but I do appreciate that, you know, our monarchy and the royal family is a kind of historical tourism industry for us. And, you know, it is history, but it is history.
It's
It
part of
is,
history. Exactly. That's what it is.
it
I
is
think,
part of history.
I mean, to me, it kind of almost goes with politicians and, you know what I mean? It's all kind of in that same
It's
boat.
difficult,
And
isn't it? Because a
I'm not
lot
a
of the
very big fan
principles.
of politicians and politics anymore
No,
or any of
me
it.
too.
I'm just tired of anybody telling us what to do. And that's why we
Yeah,
need music. And that's
yeah,
why I love punk music too, because
yeah.
that's it
That
in your
really is.
face.
God save the Queen.
Yeah. Oh,
I
here we
know.
go. Right. It's,
Absolutely. So yeah, it was a strange thing to happen. But for me it was, you know,
no, that is a
it
privilege.
was all
No,
about
because
the kids that I
it
work
is
with.
part of history. And that is about getting, like, if someone's knighted and things like that, it's a national accomplishment. It's like here
Yeah,
we have the Kennedy Center Awards, and there's things like the
yeah,
Pulitzer Prize and all of those things. Those are meaningful, and it doesn't really matter whether or not you care about royalty and that system, because it is a system of stuff.
yeah.
But
That's what I mean. A British Empire. I'm not really massive fan of the British Empire, but I'm thrilled with my British Empire medal because it's for the kids that I work with.
oh, good,
That's where my
there it
head's
is.
at with it.
Right. No, 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 but it's an accomplishment. And like you said, it is part of history. And
Yeah,
I mean, we have a huge movement of things that want to take history away. And it's like, no, we need to see the good, bad, and the ugly. We have to.
yeah,
And music
exactly.
has always been what tells the truth.
For
Music.
sure. Music and culture and history is all wrapped into one. You know, I've done lots of work with kids on the history of music and, you know, how people, you know, first started and then how it became, you could use it for social change, etc.
Mm.
You know, when they were first allowed to sing certain hymns and certain things, and how it changed and it became, you know, more accessible to the masses. But people were making music, you know, before they were talking, weren't they?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So
Birds do it too. I mean, it comes from nature. It's connected with
yeah,
nature, when you
yeah.
think about it. So if you could meet someone in the past in regards to musical influence that you could sit and jam with, right?
Yeah.
With your new EP, let's go there. Who would you want to meet from the past? You better not say the
Somewhere.
Queen.
But no, not the Queen. Well,
I'm just kidding. I said in music.
I was gonna say Billie Holiday. I mean, she would be
Ooh.
my dream sit down.
Mm.
Um, yeah, Billie Holiday would probably be my dream jamming partner. Who's
Yeah, well, she had dynamics too.
yeah, that's what I mean. She's dynamics queen, she's the queen of phrasing, queen of, to me, of delivery. She was a
And she
huge,
went places you didn't think that you're supposed to go. She wasn't like a traditionalist, you know what I mean? And Carmen McRae, we were listening to Carmen McRae the other day because it was her birthday and for our big daily blend show. And I was just listening to where she went, and her voice was unexpected. And I'm
yeah,
like, man, she did not do what you're supposed to do. She went against like the rules. And I think I like that. I remember when I was in school, we were in South Africa, and I was in a guitar group and singing, and I could sing. And the teacher told me stop, because I would always slide things in and
yeah.
do like a little accent kind of thing. No, you're not supposed to do that accenting. And I'm like,
No,
What? I
it puts
no,
so many
I'm
people
doing
off.
it. And so we had the concert. So I behaved around her until we had the concert. And then half of the people got stage fright. And I remember the one girl, we were supposed to do a duet, and the moth kept flying around her head from the light, this moth. And so she kept shaking her head like this. And I'm trying to sing and I'm looking at her going, what's wrong with you? I did my accenting. So there, take
And you
that.
just did it. Well, you see,
Oh,
this is why my little youth choir, we don't use any music. They don't have to, I don't set anything in stone. We always work the songs where we just sing them together. And then once we've sang them through a few times and we've kind of got a group phrasing, then we'll sit down and we go, okay, this is kind of how you sing it. Now let's define it. So we're all doing it the same. But because I've worked with them regularly, now it's really interesting. 2 or 3 goes through and they start to pick up each other's meter and the phrasing, and they know
ooh.
how I kind of work now. It's very informal. It's just me and a guitar with a bunch of kids. It's not like a choir. I'm not standing at the front waving a baton.
Yeah. No, that's
And we
cool.
work like that, but it's great. And it's their versions then of every song. It's not a set in stone cover. And the same with the harmonies. The ones that can hold a harmony, I'll give a note to, but there's a lot of kids there with great little ears and they can't give a part that I give them, but they can hear a counter melody, maybe not full harmony, but maybe a counter melody. So I just let them go with it and they just make such a gorgeous sound.
That's awesome because
yeah.
that's creative and you're giving them like a rope to be a person, room to be, where sometimes when it's like what we were just starting at the beginning of our conversation. See, we went full circle here. Good job for us. I'm talking about trying to edit before you get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You've got to get the heart and soul first. If you start editing in the middle of it, you lose that excitement and that passion and that creative, and I know some people
use that line. We've got to get the heart and soul first before we edit. That's exactly.
Yeah, because it's true. Because with the editing, like I know writers who teach doing the editing, and I'm like, yeah, well, you suck. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but there are people who are very, very successful who do that, and people love their work. And so everybody has their process, I think, and that's something everybody is different. So they don't really suck, but and it's really, I think the editing process or production process in you guys' world, it's difficult because you have to kill the babies. We had a videographer come on and talk about things like, whether it's a movie or a video commercial, you have to cut the babies, or even a presentation. Something that you're really passionate about sometimes has to be just taken away and shelved for a separate project. But if you're so excited about it and you have to cut it out, you're like, well, wah. But sometimes you have to cut the babies, That's mean.
No, I know it's mean, but
sounds like Halloween.
As you say, there's kind of time and place. It doesn't all have to be so set in stone. We had a project in the UK called Sing Up, which ran for about 3 years, and we managed to get into virtually every single primary school in the country and encourage the children to sing at least once every day. This was kind of the whole premise and the whole project. But it was so difficult getting some kids to sing out loud because they've been told, oh, you're deaf, or you're too
can't
loud,
carry a tune in a bucket. I hate that saying.
And we just wanted to make it natural for every kid to just be able to sing and do their thing.
I think that's important because it gives you a backbone. Even if there's something about, like they say about dancing while no one watches you. It feels good, and if we don't do that, it's like you need to be able to, no matter what you sound like to you, it's like it's a self-confidence thing. And dancing and music, if anything, boosts music, and it's personal. That's what I was saying about your album, your EP is it's personal and it's intimate and something we can all relate to. And it's all gonna, like, as soon as you listen to somebody else's music, I listen to it becomes mine now. Sorry, but you gave it to me.
Thank you.
It's mine now. That's not you. Now it's me. And I'm going to use it for what I want to use it for. And that's what happens because it's this message work, right? And so for kids and for anybody to get out there and sing a song, do it the way you want to do it. You want to take this down low instead of high?
Yeah.
Who's to tell you no if it makes you feel good?
I say there's groups, if you want to stand there, 50 of you all in a line and sing the same, that's fine. But that's not what we do here. Because it just, this particular group, it is all inclusive. It's always been all inclusive, but now it's officially all inclusive, which I find quite funny because it has always been all inclusive anyway. But it's just, it really is about the fact that, there are other places you can go if you want a more rigid approach. It's just, it doesn't work for my group because that's not me.
Liz Lenten is being a punk.
I know.
Well, it has been a real pleasure catching up with you again. Can't wait for the next EP. Everybody watch for that at the end of summer, beginning of fall, and keep up with Liz. Again, we'll go to her website, and she's on Spotify, so type in auburn.org.uk for her website. Also, Instagram is Auburn Band UK, if you go follow her there. And of course, go get it wherever you can. Are you going to be on Bandcamp too with this?
No, I don't think so. Not with the digital, because Bandcamp is that not for selling things, but hopefully it will be. I don't know.
I hope you're on Bandcamp because they actually pay musicians.
It's meant to be. I've gone through DistroKid. It's meant to be on every single platform that will take it.
It's probably going to be there. Yeah, it'll probably be there. Well, everyone, again, keep up with Liz. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. You take care, and best wishes for some more good shows and more music.
Thank you.
And no editing.
Never again.
Sometimes